Since the One Piece manga went on a 3-week break, there has been a flurry of theories on the internet about what will happen next. Such a big break has been given, then some goods are coming, and the cliffhanger was also not a small one. Here, all the Gorosei have landed straight on Egghead, and giants are also there. And after that, a big robot has stood up, and since then, it has been apologizing as to why it stood up. So I read a lot of articles and then thought of making a video. What is going to happen next? And trust me, you are going to enjoy watching this video till the end. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. Just at the end of the last chapter 1111, we saw that the ancient robot is apologizing to Joyboy. What could have happened for such a large robot to now apologize to Joyboy after so many years? To answer this question, we need to know when the ancient robot was first mentioned. In the manga, it was revealed that this ancient robot has been dormant there for 200 years, and it attacked Mariejois 200 years ago. But what could have happened for it to suddenly stop? And this theory starts right after this entire statement. 200 years ago, the robot that went to Mariejois did so with the intention of killing Joyboy. It sounds very strange, doesn't it? Let's understand it deeply. 200 years ago, the ancient robot attacked Mariejois because the world government had kept Joyboy defrozen. Yes, according to this theory, Joyboy was alive till 200 years ago. Now you might be thinking, if Joyboy was still alive, why did the robot go to kill him? The reason is that in the world of One Piece, the will always transfers and is reincarnated within someone else. The same goes for devil fruits. So the robot went to kill Joyboy so that his will could be reincarnated along with his devil fruit. And from this same point, it also becomes clear why the giant straw hat was at Mariejois and why it was kept there. Now, with all these things, it becomes evident that Joyboy was a giant. Another point supporting this is that in chapter 1110, Dory and Brogy mentioned that they had seen Luffy, who appeared to them like a god. It's possible that Joyboy was from Elbaf, and maybe he could even be one of the 4 gods. And Elbaf Island isn't just a recent addition. It has been there since 2002. Many of you weren't even born then, yet it has been a significant island in the world of One Piece since that time. We've seen the importance of Elbaf in various aspects. Currently, there are many giants, and considering the influence of gigantic things in Joyboy's story, whether it's the poneglyphs, Zunesha, or even the giants themselves, or perhaps the biggest proof being his giant hat. And let's not forget our ancient weapons, all of which are so massive that they couldn't have been made for a normal human. And all these things point to the possibility that Joyboy could be a giant and that massive hat might belong to him. After Joyboy's death, that robot killed him 200 years ago. The hat was left there, and Emo has just kept it so that he can believe that he had kept Joyboy captive at one time. Well, we've drifted a bit towards our Joyboy topic, so let's get back to our main topic, which is the ancient robot that is currently in the picture. Now, this robot must have gone and fought at Mariejois, due to which it must have killed Joyboy there, and thus being his devil fruit and will reincarnated. Now, you might be wondering why I believe so much in this reincarnation theory after all. If you look at the current chapter and the current entire scenario, we're kind of seeing our current Joyboy here, and the Gorosei stance here is such that they don't want to kill Luffy, because if they kill Luffy, his devil fruit will reincarnate again. That's why in one manga panel, we see that Peter is trying to eat Luffy. If you don't understand, I'm referring to the scene where Peter transformed into a giant worm and tried to eat Luffy, but the giants cut him off. The reason for trying to eat Luffy was to capture him. Now let's go back to 200 years ago, when the robot had killed Joyboy, due to which he would have gone off. The explanation of which we can also see in the current chapter number 1111, in which the robot gets up and says, "Sorry to Joyboy." Why did the ancient robot wake up so late? Because its power is connected to Joyboy, and when it heard the drums of liberation, its powers were awakened due to the incident it had with Joyboy 200 years ago. That's why it is currently apologizing for that. But now what can happen in the story next? Look, presently, the Gorosei are very powerful, and Luffy is fighting alone against 3 along with giants. So there is a high possibility that the Gorosei might capture Luffy again. There are 2 important reasons for this. First, if they capture the giants as well after defeating them, they could experiment on them. And in this scenario, they could also negotiate with Luffy's crew to stop Vegapunk's message, and the remaining Straw Hats could leave Elbaf to plan to rescue Luffy. It would also be interesting to see how the Straw Hats act without Luffy, and due to this situation when the Straw Hats reach Elbaf. We might even get to see an arc focusing on Usopp, not dedicated solely to him, but centered around how he motivates the giants to fight a war against the world government. Due to this, many plot points can be triggered for the final war war, but it is very difficult for them to capture Luffy because Luffy has a significant power, which is plot armor. So if they can't capture Luffy, then as far as I think, they might capture one of Luffy's friends, either Dory or Brogy or maybe even both. Because of this, unwillingly, Luffy will have to go to Elbaf, and there will be a war between the giants and the world government. But in this situation, Vegapunk will announce the entire history of the world government, not within the 7 minutes, but after the 7 minutes, due to which many more powerful people will also align themselves with Luffy, or will they go to fight the world government for their own motives? Now, if Luffy is not captured, then he has the abilities of Nika, and we just saw Nika's abilities in action. Because of this big robot could become active. So just listen to me, Whis. Could this big robot be Uranus? This is possible because if you visit the One Piece fandom where ancient weapons have been discussed, it is clearly written that Uranus could potentially be both an animate life form and an inanimate object. That is why I'm thinking like this. Who knows? It could also be a combination of both, where this big giant robot is a kind of cyborg. Not to mention that a cyborg had torn the blueprints of Pluto. That is, I am talking about Frankie. Just connecting the dots. I'm not saying that it could have happened exactly like this, but if such a huge robot was built at that time and Vegapunk also created cyborgs and other creations in his super science group, all of these things he has made by studying the past. So there is a very strong possibility of this happening. Also, while finishing this theory, another question came to my mind, which may be coming to your mind as well, that why has Joyboy been kept in the freezer? There is a scientific explanation for this too. If you have done even a little bit of science, you must have read that at 0 Kelvin, that is minus 273 degrees Celsius. I don't know if it is correct or not. Tell me in the comment section. At that temperature, the molecular activity becomes almost negligible. That is, it comes to a halt. I don't know whether it stops or not, but it slows down the movements. And if you look at it this way, Joyboy's body was made of rubber and the way he can move freely, and because of this, his movements can also stop at such low temperatures. He will not be able to use his abilities. That is the reason Emo must have kept him captive there, so that he cannot uproot anything. So my theory ends here. The rest of you, please tell me in the comment section how credible you think this theory is and how likely you believe it is to be correct. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel immediately. See you with another amazing video. Until then, goodbye.